Yo, hell yeah. Wyatt begins in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, welcome to Wyatt. And I'm your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans. Grrr, woof, god damn it, woof, 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 woof. Hi, I said hey. To all my YouTubers out there, if you like what you hear and you like what you see, just click those subscribe buttons at the bottoms of all your screens. And while you're at it, because I know you loves me, give me some likes and, hey, you can leave some comments as well. Today's Wyatt shines the spotlight on Mr. Hartsel Clifton Shirley, that innovative recording artist and dynamic author. And we're going to talk about his musical journey. We're going to play some of his great music videos. And he's also here to help me usher in the debut of my brand new segment called The Down and the Dirty. Yeah. So, without further ado, Wyatt, I said Wyatt, welcomes that multifaceted talent, Mr. Hartsel Clifton Shirley. Talk at me. How the hell are you?
I am absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. How are you?
Well,
I said, how are you?
Yes. I am doing great, my friend. I want to thank you for returning to Wyatt, man. So good to have you back.
Always a pleasure whenever you need me.
Okay, my friend. Now, let me tell you something. You know I had to get that out. It makes me feel so much better when I do that. You, my friend, have one hell of a resume, so let me break it down to our audience. First, you are an author, a columnist, and a recording artist. Your best-selling novel is titled 3 Words, 4 Letters, and your latest work is titled The Night Eddie Salas Died. You are a Bronze Prize winner of the International Society of Poets, and you have written editorials for the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier in Iowa. And your column, Heartstrings, is one of the gems of WyattEvans.com. And as a recording artist, you have charted at number one several times on the Reverb Nation pop music charts. Today, we're going to focus on your music. How is that? Don't break your hand patting yourself on the back.
Goodness, oh my gosh! Well, it's been really interesting being a recording artist, being one. If we're going from being a kid, having it as a fantasy and a dream, to actually really being a recording artist, it was quite a journey to it, and it's pretty darn cool. I love the whole process of it.
Well, I love your stuff, and it's my understanding, Mr. Shirley, that your dad's extensive music collection sparked your interest in music early on. Tell us about that.
Okay, so when my dad was a kid, he took piano lessons, but of course he was like many who take piano lessons. He did not really practice it, and when he got that rap on the knuckles from the teacher with a ruler, that was it for him. So he migrated to the bass, and he became self-taught on the bass. And he became so well at it that when he was in the military, he was overseas, and Ike Turner and Tina Turner were overseas, and Ike had fired a bass player.
Wow.
And so they had heard about my dad, and they got him, and he filled in for, I forget how long, I don't remember how long he filled in for that bass player, but he filled in for the bass player for Ike Tina Turner. And so when I was a kid, And so when I was a kid, of course, my dad was really into music. So he was into the sound system and all that. And the speakers but as a kid, the speakers looked like they were huge. So between his speakers and in front of the stereo, he had this massive, long collection of albums. And I was always fascinated by them. And there was Marvin Gaye was always at the front. The What's Going On album was always at the front, and then there was everything else. Yeah, there was with them with those iconic boots and that hat, and there was all. And so I would always be so fascinated. But then he brought home Rufus and Shaka Khan.
Ooh.
And yes, and at that time, to my best of my memory, Sweet Thing was out, and so it was the 45. Yes, it was the 45 that called me first, and I had my little Flintstone record player upstairs in my room, and so I took the record upstairs, and I knew how to play my record player, but I didn't know how to play the real record player. But in my parents' bedroom was the real record player, so my cousin came by, and I asked her to play these records that my folks had in the room. And so I asked my cousin, play this for me. Play this for me. Play this for me. And then when it got to this one record, I kept having to play it over and over and over. It was Tell Me Something Good by Rufus and Shaka Khan. And she said, I'm going to teach you how to use this record player because I'm tired of doing this now. So I got hooked on Rufus and Shaka Khan. Biggest, longest standing major influence since then, 1974.
Well, you know what, man? I love your music. It's innovative. It's imaginative. It's eclectic.
Thank you.
And it's got some of that old school vibe. So what genres do you explore in your music?
Oh, my gosh. Well, having mentioned that, so I'm a child of the 70s. And so in the 70s, there was AM radio. And AM radio back then played some of everything. They were pretty indiscriminate. So I got everything from country to adult contemporary to pop to R&B. So the influences are really broad. So one thing the producer likes about me is that he said, I can't really put you in any category because you can do rock, you can do pop, you can do R&B, you can do what you want to do, and it comes out well. So I am multi-genre. Whatever vein it goes down is the vein that it goes down. Whatever works is how it works. If it turns out to be country, then cool. If it turns out to be house, cool. R&B, excellent. Got it. And as a matter of fact, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. AI has brought in a whole bunch of options now that weren't available to me previously. And so I was apprehensive at first because I didn't want AI to have any credit or full credit for anything that I did. But my producer introduced me to it. I was like, oh. But I tried and I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. So now I actually have a country song out right now called Mistake Number 9. Which you can hear on Spotify, and you can see the video on YouTube. And I have a 60s-ish song out now called I'm Ready for Love, which you can see the video on YouTube, or you can hear it on Spotify as well. And those I wrote myself, and I produced it with AI. But I didn't. I'll do all the writing. I have to do the writing myself, or else I'll feel like I'm cheating myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hartsel, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us, who have been your most important musical influences?
The most important, there are two that are right off the bat. Like I just said, Rufus and Shaka Khan. And it irks me to no end when people attribute songs that are actually Rufus and Shaka Khan to just Shaka. That band was there too. That band was there before Shaka. So it's Rufus and Shaka Khan. Number one, Rufus and Shaka Khan. Together, Rufus and Shaka Khan, and then her by herself. But then there was also the absolutely gorgeous, forever stunning Donna Summer. She was my first.
Oh, yes. Hot stuff, fangirls.
Oh, she was my first crush. Oh, I thought she was the most gorgeous thing I had ever seen and will ever see in life. she was, and she could sing anything too.
And what I loved about Donna Summer was that she was before her time.
Yeah.
She was ahead of her time.
Right.
Because she incorporated R&B, pop, funk, rock, all of that. Right. And you could really see that in 1979's Bad Girl with Hot Stuff.
Hot Stuff.
And Bad Girls. All of that. amazing,
Right.
amazing, and before her time.
Right. Very much so. Even though there's a song on that album called on my honor. I think it's called just on my honor. And if you listen to it, it sounds like a country love song.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Shirley, a little later, we're going to delve deeper rather into your music, and we're going to feature 2 of your videos.
Excellent.
And afterwards, you're going to help me debut my new segment titled The Down and the Dirty. The Down and the Dirty.
Oh. I get to help break into virgin territory, huh?
Oh, yeah. Virgins are good. But for now,
okay.
But for now, let's sashay through the quarters of time so that our nosy ass audience can get reacquainted with your backstory. Are you ready?
Sure. Let's go.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in a city in Iowa called Waterloo. Which people think Waterloo. Are there black folks in Waterloo? Of course there are. And part of what brought a lot of black folks to Waterloo was the railroad strikes back in the 1920s. The railroad posted signs everywhere to get workers because there was workforce was striking, so they needed workers for the railroad. So a lot of black folks from the South moved up north, and Waterloo was one of the major places that they went to. As a matter of fact, the Illinois railroad line, I forgot the proper name of that Illinois line, but my town was one of the major stops coming from Chicago. So my hometown became known to a lot of folks as Little Chicago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's only 16% black folk in Waterloo. So what was it like being black in Waterloo?
Oh, wow. Well, it's gone up since I last checked because last time I checked, it was 13. So, and that's been some years ago. But growing up in Waterloo, especially during the 70s, was just pure joy and happiness because it was the 70s. Everything was in excess. Sugar, butter, big cars. Everything was big and loud, and you had the Globetrotters. You had the Gong Show. You had you had Bewitched. You had stuff that just was what the imagination was alive and vibrant for me, especially. And even in education, the way that the things that they taught and how they taught was innovative. I was a part of a project called the Bridgeway Project, where they were really purposely integrating black and white students or students of color with white students, and we had no idea that that's what was being done, but it was a really good and gentle and purposed, well done integration of us. We all got along just like peanut butter and jelly. There were no schisms between us. We didn't have black folks against white folks, at least in school. Our folks might have known about that stuff, but we, as the children, we weren't engaged in that. At least I was. My folks made very purposed and very overprotective efforts to make sure that the growing up was healthy. I guess that's where I got for it.
Well, that's fascinating. That was like an anomaly. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, you just reminded me back in the day, in the time of coal, which is one of the things that brought folks to Iowa too, because coal was big. There was a town in Iowa called Buxton, and Buxton was known for outstanding racial harmony. I mean, they just really, really, really had it together. And there were black doctors and lawyers and teachers and all this kind of stuff. And the black and white folks just really, really, really got together so very well. And after coal left Iowa, the town just faded away. And now there's nothing but just traces of where the city was.
That has happened to a lot of Midwestern towns, unfortunately. Yeah. When coal left,
right,
prosperity left right along with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to ask my special guest this question. I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
what was Hartsel like as a little boy, a little nipper? Give us three qualities, characteristics that best describe you.
Arthur was sensitive. He was
Okay.
lively,
Mm.
and he was that child that didn't have a filter. He just called what he saw, how he saw. Yeah.
Well, good golly, Miss Molly.
Right.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah. You couldn't hide anything from me.
Okay. Well, what was your coming out process like? Give us any juicy details?
No, I didn't really have a coming out process. I didn't get into that because for me, just for me, the whole coming out thing seemed like it was something for that was afforded to white folks.
Why? That's interesting. Let's dig
I
into
think. Go ahead.
No, let's dig into that. Why do you
Yeah.
say that?
Well, just from the immediate culture that I was around,
Mm-hmm.
coming out would have been devastating for me. Would have been
Oh,
extremely
okay.
alienating for me. Extremely, extremely, extremely alienating for me.
I got
And
it.
it was already bad enough that I knew. so, so
I get it.
making the public announcement just would have been just like
Right.
being banished
Okay.
to
Yeah.
Siberia.
That makes so much sense. I
Yeah.
get you. I feel you.
Mhm.
Okay. Let us move on to your music.
Sure.
As a recording artist, Mr. Shirley,
Yes.
what is your muse? What compels you to be a creator?
I think that for one thing, with especially with the writing, it's just an internal drive that just you have to write. You have to put it down on paper. You have to get it out some kind of way, whatever that is. And then I have found just recently, just really recognizing and that a former partner who I was in the deep in love with, like, if there's a cure for this, I don't want it. Move over, Diana.
Oh
That's my song. That's my song,
yeah,
Diana. you know.
Diana
Um,
Ross. Yeah.
yeah,
Love Hangover. Diana
yes,
Ross.
yes. That
Yeah.
whole thing. There was someone who I was in that kind of love with, who has passed, unfortunately. But the memory of the time that we spent together, of the initial meeting online, and the time we spent together, and even after, has been a great source of inspiration for some really cool stuff, some very, very beautiful stuff that you'll get to hear next year,
Mm,
and some stuff you'll hear this year even.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a perfect segue. So let's dig a little deeper.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, Hartsel, that you were thrust into an alternate universe and you were stripped away from, and your musical abilities and
Oh
talents
gosh.
were stripped away from you. First, how would that impact you? And secondly, would you feel as if you'd lost an integral part of yourself?
I my first thought was I might as well not even exist.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just it's such a part of me, and has been, that
Mm-hmm.
pulling it away from me is like pulling my heart out.
Right.
Right.
I get it. Mhm.
I just can't imagine not being able to create in those veins.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. That's a great answer. A great
Yeah.
answer, Hartsel.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Of course. Let's get into two of your recent videos. First
Yes.
one is Bob, and the
Yes.
second is The Lovers. So
Yes.
let's first roll with Bob. It's an
Okay.
interesting title. Is there a
Mhm.
meaning behind the title? And just break it down for us. What does it all mean?
Okay. Bop came out of nowhere, like somebody bopped me on the head, just bop. And so this is a song that I produced with AI. So I wrote the lyrics
Mm,
in the AI app, And then I chose the genre of music, and I chose the mood. And then I let AI do what it does to create the music and put the lyrics to the music. And so I was flabbergasted by the end result because it came out pretty much exactly with the whole mood and everything that I had in mind completely. And so Ed Bop is a song that I want fraternities and sororities to get and do some line dancing to, make up your own line dance to. Family reunions, come on, from little kids on up to come on and bop. I triple dog dare you to bop. I dare you to tap your foot. I did not tap your foot. I wiggled just a little bit on this one.
Okay.
Right.
All right. All right. Okay, let's play bop right now.
And I want to hear from folks, did it make you bop? Just a little bit.
Okay, let's play it.
All right.
This song is a groove. This song is a jam. We call it bop. Bop, bop. This groove will make you move in your shoes. With this bop, 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 come on and bop to the east, bop to the west, bop to my groove, cause it's the best. Bop in the south, bop up north, bop to this jam, it's a bop for sure. Bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop, 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 bop. Put this bop in your shoes, all in your toes, it's a bop for sure. Bop. Put this bop in your hands, bop in them pants, just so you know. Bop. This bop is new. This bop is you. You can move how you want to. Make it bop. Bop. Bop while you work. Bop while you're home. Bop anywhere. Just bop for sure. Bop. Bop. Bop-a-bee, bop, bop, bop-a-bee, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. 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 This bop is new. This bop is you. You can move how you want to. Make it bop, bop. Put this bop in your hands, bop in them pants, just so you know. Bop, come on, bop, baby. Baby, baby, bop. See you on bop, baby. Baby, baby, bop till you drop. Don't stop, don't stop. Bop. Baby, 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 bop, bop. Ooh-wee, you better bop. Do it again. Bop. We gon' take it on home. Bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bop, bop, bop-a-bee, bop, bop, boop-a-bee, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bop, bop, bop-a-bee, bop, bop, boop-a-bee, bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop-a-bee, bop, bop, boop-a-bee, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bop, bibbidi, bop, bop, bibbidi, bop. Bop, bop, bop.
Awesome, my friend. I like it. I like it.
Pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you is cool too. You is cool too.
I try.
Yes. I know you do. You do. Okay, now look. Next up is The Lovers.
Yes.
Break it down for us. Is there a meaning behind the title? What is it all about?
Okay, so on my previous album CD called A Place for Us, which is still available on Amazon and anywhere else you can buy CDs, there was a song called The Lovers, and it was one of my bigger played songs, and that version, the whole song is just three love stories between a male and a female, two females, and then two males, and how they cross paths and they fall in love. And so the album version and the original video version are the kind of pop rockers version of the song. This is an EDM version, which is EDM stands for electronic dance music. So my producer was messing around with stuff, and he hit me up and said, I think I could do an EDM version of It's Okay. And I said, okay, let me go ahead. And so when he played it for me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is off the chain. He just did a serious, beautiful remix of it. And so that sparked the remix of a lot of the songs that came from A Place for Us, one of those songs being The Lovers. And so this is a remix of an EDM, electronic dance music remix of The Lovers. And it's hot. It's actually there's a whole project out, which you can get on bandcamp.com called Let's Do It Big, which is the name of the first single from there. Let's Do It Big. And it's full of EDM music. And The Lovers is one of those songs on there.
Okay, so again, The Lovers comes from A Place, your collection, A Place for Us.
A Place for Us. And the EDM version comes from Let's Do It Big.
Let's Do It Big.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the name of that whole project.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm. So now let us play The Lovers.
Yes.
This is some hot stuff, brother.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. That's another genre of music that I'm pretty darn well at too.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time for drum roll. The new provocative and freaky Wyatt segment titled The Down and the Dirty. The Down and the Dirty. And Hartsel, my man, you're just the right person to help me kick off this debut.
Let me get some coffee.
Okay, next.
Get in here.
Yes. You might need a little caffeine for this.
Right. Okay.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you some, slutty and nasty, NASTEE questions, slutty and nasty questions, and you give me your responses. Now, we've been friends for years, so you're the perfect brother to do this. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Let me just scroll down. Here we go. All right. Question 1 is a warm-up question, okay?
Warm up.
To prepare you for the sluttiness and the nastiness.
Yeah, foreplay.
Yes. Oh, yes. Foreplay. Good. Okay, question number 1.
Okay.
Hartsel. If you could build the perfect man, what physical characteristics and inner qualities would you include?
Ooh. Okay. He might be 6 feet tall. He might be 5'11". 5'11" is good. Brown eyes. They could be any shade of brown eyes. I'm not asking for a huge endowment. Just regular is fine. And he could be built like an average Joe. I don't need muscles. He could just be the average dude that you see at the grocery store. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Average Joes have no idea how fine they really are. And I want to let you know that they are really, really, really fine. Really fine. Really, really fine. His occupation doesn't matter as long as it's one that could sustain life and keep us happy.
What about inner qualities?
Those
inner qualities.
He's got to be a freak. However y'all define freak, that's what he's got to be. So y'all work with that part there. Yes.
What about like kindness?
Of course.
Give us. You're building this man. Give us those inner qualities.
He's got to be. He's got to be kind. He's got to be considerate. He's got to be gentle. Have some backbone, of course. He's got to have some stimulating intellect, or I might lose interest. Being a Gemini, we thrive on intellect. It's very, very attractive to us, and it keeps us going. And be someone that can teach me, but also learn from me.
Teach you what?
Whatever comes our way. It could be stuff about history.
Okay.
History is absolutely fascinating to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I co-sign. I would, if I were able to build a man, I would have all of those qualities, physical and inner. So we're in agreement. Okay. Question number 2. Let's say you fell head over heels with a guy and you're thinking about relationship. And then he sits down with you and he finally reveals this to you. He says, yo, I got a girl, but I want and need your boy ass. I want that boy pussy, and I want it on a regular basis. And I ain't gonna drop her though. So can we make this work? Are you down for that? What would your response be, Mr. Shirley?
My response would be, having been there before, right off the bat, way back in my relationship beginnings, I would have to pass on that.
Oh,
I'd have to pass.
interesting.
I'd
You'd have to pay.
Yeah.
No matter what he looked like, no matter what body he had, no matter what the sex was like,
As
no matter
tantalizing and magnetizing and seducing as all of that is, at some point, his unavailability might wear thin.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, I had to, bi guys and Wyatt don't get along. Oh no, right. I've been burned before, so I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, we might write out the sex thing for a while, but still, I'm just, just saying.
You have morals and scruples. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, question number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You are invited to be part of a throuple, a menage a trois relationship, and you're really into both of the guys. Would you accept that invitation to become part of their throuple?
It could happen. Mm-hmm. I won't say no. It could happen. I might get everything I need between the two of them.
Everything you need, like what?
Everything sexually, everything emotionally. I might just have they might be the two that make the one that I've been looking for.
Okay, so and you would make sure to give them equal attention, correct?
Of course, because you don't want to mess up it's a recipe, and cakes, for example, require all the ingredients, or else you don't have a whole cake.
I like that. That is a really good way of putting it, a recipe. I like that a lot. Okay, now
you get that fresh off the top.
Me, I don't know. Mm-hmm. If it were me, I might be. I don't think I would be quite as inclined to do it as you. I don't know.
But I did say maybe it could happen. That wasn't a full commitment to it, just to maybe it could happen.
Okay,
maybe.
I got it. Maybe. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Question number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4. You arrive late to an orgy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You arrive late, And when you get there, there are 17 other men's there. 17 other men's there.
Uh-huh.
They are gorgeous black and brown men who are either muscular or beefy. You're so into them. But they immediately designate you as the pass-around boy. They want you as their pass-around boy, wanting you to service each of them. Would you oblige? And if so, what would be the very first thing sexually you do to them?
Well, that has never happened. And because that's never happened, I wouldn't say no. And I'll just give it a try, see what happens, But you are not right. But if they're open having their ass eaten, I will happily oblige them.
No.
Happily.
Oh my! So you like that, don't you? You like eating ass, don't you?
It is a real passion. I have done it from daylight to night, and will happily do it again. It is a serious passion. Started out doing it, didn't even know what it was called.
All I can say is bottoms up, baby.
Yes. Gosh. Yes. I have a real dedication to it.
I see.
Oh gosh. See, I'm glazing over here.
So the answer to that question is a maybe.
It's more than a maybe. Let's make it happen.
Okay. Here's the final question. Okay. And I want to thank you for your participation in the Down in the dirty. Okay.
Yeah, so now everybody else I set the bar. Y'all got to come with it, the next people.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Final question.
Mm-hmm.
Rank your top 3 sex acts you like to do to your partner, with number 1 being your favorite and why. Do I need to repeat that?
No, I heard you. Well, as you just heard, the first one is definitely eating the ass. It is a real passion. It is a joy. It is just it is something that comes with the package. Yeah, it just comes with the package. Then there is, of course, the intercourse itself, and whether that be, yeah, ass is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's just a beautiful thing to experience.
Would you be top or bottom?
And I think because those are two different experiences, that could be second and third. So I would say there's nothing like the feeling of your cock sliding into some delicious ass. Nothing like it at all. Gosh. I remember one time there was a dude who was just so freaking gorgeous. He was really cool that when I got inside of him, I was like, oh my gosh, am I even in here? I just melted inside of him. It just felt so good. But then on the flip side of that is being the bottom, being the receiver, where I had the one who I was in that deep in love with, who he was the second person, but he was the most pleasurable person to take me to the point of the in the midst of making love to me, he made me come just from how he moved. It was priceless. And he did it several times during the course of our relationship, and it was priceless. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, with me, number 1 would be getting my dick sucked.
Oh, that's
number 2.
Yes. Yes.
Number 2 would be me sucking that dick.
Okay.
Number 3, me fucking that ass.
Yes.
So those are my top 3. I don't want letters. Yes. That's just the way it is.
Yes. So for me, honorable mention, getting the dick sucked, because that's, my gosh. It was my first sexual activity. And from that very first time to this very moment, if I can't do anything else, well, I can receive that so very well. And I will let you know how much I enjoy it. I become extremely verbal in my appreciation from start to end.
And you know what? In all seriousness, it just builds more of a connection. The whole oral thing just builds more of that connection. It just does.
Yes, and it's extremely validating for the male to have your cock just appreciated that way.
Mr. Shirley, I want to thank you for your participation in the down and the dirty.
Okay, then let's wash it off. Yeah. Okay.
Now.
Yes.
Now here we go. Here we go. Now.
Yes.
Let's snap back to your music.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, that you could have a dinner party with four recording artists that are now deceased from the 20th century.
Okay.
What 4 recording artists would be at that dinner party, and why?
The first person that comes to mind is Billy Strayhorn, because he was such a composer, such a writer, and such a lyricist. If you take songs like Lush Life or Something to Live For, they're just gorgeous. They're just absolutely beautiful. And his orchestration when he wrote was just so full and so complete. Just to sit and watch him create would be an honor. But then to talk with him about the stuff that he created would be even more, just more than I could even imagine.
Right.
And then I would say probably Donna Summer, just
yeah.
because she, from what I saw about the documentary that her daughter did about her, she was one who her songs always had to have a happy ending, or they had to tell a story, much like Dolly Parton. She had a song called "Once Upon a Time."
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that song probably summed up her whole idea of how she lived, how she treated her children. She wanted to create stories for them that were whole and happy, and everything worked out well. Next would probably be Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
First of all, I don't think he really understood, first of all, how freaking gorgeous he was. Just
He was.
freaking gorgeous. And I think he needed somebody to understand him and to appreciate his intellect and where he was. And I don't know if he really got to have that.
And his father didn't do him any favors.
And his father didn't help at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The last person, let me see. That's a good one there. Last person. I would say probably Prince.
Yeah.
Because I think he probably had that same thing going on that Marvin Gaye had. He had so much going on mentally that he needed someone to help him. Someone for him. I think he needs someone to bring him back to center. And you could tell in some of the songs that he wrote, like when he produced Funk This, the Funk, no, not Funk This, but the Come to My House album for Shaka. Some of the songs that he wrote with her, they went too far out. He needs somebody to bring him back to center and keep it here. And don't go so far, not so far out. Keep it, come back in, come back to the world, because he could, because he was so creative and he could do so much that you don't have to put every out there idea in this.
Right.
And that's, and then of course he has those volumes and volumes of music that we have not heard yet, that he was able to express that with, which is astounding.
Exactly. Those are 4 great choices. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What are some of the takeaways from your music?
One of the things that you could take away is that I always try to not make anything gender specific, because love, I don't think love is really gender specific. That's why that's one of the things that is underscoring the song "The Lovers." You fall in love with who you fall in love with.
Right. That's true.
Anything else? I try to keep it upbeat and happy too. There's enough going on that could depress us or keep us in a shell, but we need to experience life and live it and accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. To quote a song from back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's the
well
most
put.
Yeah.
Okay. Hartsel, where can people buy your music and your books?
Okay. The music you can get from like bandcamp.com, which is an extremely secure site to download music from if you just want to have it that way. A lot of it is available on Amazon. Or if you happen to catch me at Pride or catch me here in Atlanta, we can make that happen. The night Eddie Salas. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Please.
Yeah, the book "The Night Eddie Salas Died," which is based on real life happenings, a murder that happened in my hometown back in 1966. That you can order from lulu.com, lulu.com. 3 words, 4 letters you have to get from me in person. And hopefully this year or early next year, the second and third parts of that will finally be out.
Oh,
and those
great.
should be available. By that time, I should have a website up and running, and you can order those through the website. And along with the T-shirts that I have and cups that I will have. Not this one, this is plain. Mine will have my logo or something on it, but there will be a website where you can get me. And maybe next time that we meet, I will have a website where I could probably say you can go to hartselc.shirley.com and get what you need.
Now, you said bandwidth.com.
No,
didn't you?
Bandcamp.
Spell that for me, please.
BANDCAMP.com.
And you can also get your music there.
Yes.
Got it. Yes, I definitely want you back because I want to talk about, I want to focus on the author piece.
Right.
Definitely. Oh, give us your social media, please. How can
social media
contact you?
You can hit me up on Facebook. I will respond. You can hit me up by email. That's just hartselc.shirley@gmail.com. I will respond. No spam, please. You can hit me up. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. I will respond. You can hit me up on Instagram. I will likely respond. And Twitter as well.
Got it.
Yeah. And there's only one Hartsel C. Shirley, so you probably have gotten me if you try that.
Well, Mr. Hartsel Clifton Shirley, thank you for stopping by. Wyatt!
Yes.
It's been a stone cold blast, my brother.
It's been an experience. Yeah.
I hope that's good.
I'm talking about stuff I keep private, but okay. Y'all know now.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, y'all, there you have it. You can find the official Wyatt podcast page at WyattEvans.com, the go-to destination for LGBTQ plus news, features, commentary, and entertainment. WyattEvans.com is visited by more than 100 countries on the regular. All I can say to that is, hey, baby. And at WyattEvans.com, you'll find my smoking hot, HAWT hot, Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. And as you just saw on the top, the newest installment is called Shattered. I said Shattered. And y'all, Shattered is full of action, danger, intrigue, sexually charged situations, passion, and all of the wonderful elements that you're used to in the Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. So get your new copy of Shattered. Now you can follow me, your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans, all across social media, and poof is right there for you to peruse, like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any comments or whatever, you can hit me up at wyattonair@gmail.com. So until next time, y'all, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. I said woof.